right, so hi everyone, and welcome to today's Graduate Mentor Workshop, Your Storyboard. So thank you all for responding to the invite. It's great to see everyone here and ready to learn from our speaker today, Shirley. So this webinar will show you how to create your own professional storyboard and how doing so can help you visualize what you want for your future career. And we host webinars like this once a month to give students and graduates and mentees extra guidance and advice as they make their transition from university. So I will be hosting this webinar today, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself and Graduate Mentor, and then we can move on to Shirley. So I am Karima Kiat. I'm the Marketing Manager for Graduate Mentor, which was found by Dan Hawes in August 2020. And the idea of this is to allow students and graduates to have free one-to-one mentoring sessions to help them reach their career potential with expert support. So I am also the marketing manager for Graduate Recruitment Bureau, which is our go-to platform as well for university students, recent grads, alumni, and recruiters. And we now have over 75 staff with 2,000 clients. So we have clients such as Amazon, IBM, Unilever, Ocado, and several other fast-growing SMEs. So our recruitment experts have successfully matched thousands of graduates with graduate or executive level jobs. And since launching Graduate Mentor over 2 years ago, we have a community of over 5,000 mentees on our platform. So they represent a full spectrum of backgrounds, universities, and courses, with a lot of them representing diverse and underrepresented groups. So this is the main audience that we're trying to help get on the career ladder. And there's a nice diverse range there, and this shows you where the main bulk of our mentees are from. In terms of university and course. So we've achieved a lot over the last 2 years. As I've said, we've hit over 5,000 mentees on our platform, all having completed a session, with 300 mentors have joined us as well. And we've hosted 12 workshops just like this one, which are all recorded and on our website for you to look back on after this. So we have a large following as well, reaching over 50,000 accounts each month. And we have about 20 success stories from mentees themselves that have either had great outcomes with their interviews, landed jobs, or just gained confidence in their job search. So we have hosted skilled webinars directly with 7 different universities as well. And we have some great partners supporting us to help us cover costs and allow us to maintain Graduate Mentor in the future. So thank you to GRB, SureServe Group, Softwire, and Oakwood. So our speaker today is Shirley Morrison. So she is a technology leader and driven salesperson with a track record of meeting and overachieving all of her targets. And she has been helping organizations across the world understand the value of technology in their business over a span of 10 years, and guiding executives on how they can use technology to reach their strategic transformation vision. So Shirley's focus is on developing people and creating an environment for all people to thrive and achieve. And she has a book called From Classroom to Career, How to Network, Nail the Interview, and Navigate for Success, which she published last year. So you can have a read of that, and I might put the link in the description as well. So it highlights the transition from university into the workforce and the best approach to getting a job. So it'd be really insightful to hear from her today, and she can tell us a little bit more about having a professional storyboard and how you will then also have the chance later on to actually create your own too. So it's very interactive. If you have any questions throughout, please put your hand icon up and Shirley will be able to answer them throughout. And this webinar, as I mentioned earlier, is being recorded too, so you can have a chance to come back to this if you need to in the future. So on that note, Shirley, would you like to take over?
Absolutely. Karima, thank you for the very kind intro. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second here. Great. Can everyone see the slides?
Oh, sure, if I can just share.
You cannot?
Oh, yeah, I can see that now. Perfect.
Yeah, great, cool. Well, welcome. I'm really excited. We have an intimate group here. I think there's about 15, 16 of us on. So I hope we can make this really interactive. So as Karima said, my name is Shirley Morrison. I'm an author of the book From Classroom to Career. And today we are doing the first chapter in my book. So we're going to help you think about using visualization for your future. And really start to bring that future into your life starting today. So just real quick, I'll run through the agenda and then we'll jump right into it. We very fortunately have one of the graduate mentors here with us today that's going to share their own journey, their career journey. So we'll do the first 3 minutes with that with Steve. Thank you, Steve. And then we're going to jump into, the introduction to visualization, what it is, why it's important. It's something that I've used throughout my whole career. And I'm sure Steve will touch on it as well. And we're going to break it into 3 different sections. So today we're going to review your life purpose, your health, and then your employment. And then we'll save a little bit of time at the end for feedback and thoughts. Does that sound good? I can't see anyone, but I'm hoping everyone's nodding right now. All right, well, let's jump into it. So Steve, can I hand it over to you, please? Would you mind introducing yourself and walking everyone through your journey here?
Yes, hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody on the call. So my name is Steve Littell. You'll see the slide on the screen just now. But just before I talk about my career journey, one thing that I had in mind before I started the journey, and of course I had no idea what was going to happen in the next 30 years or so, was to really look in the mirror and try to think about what kind of person I was. Frankly, I was very good at accounting and maths and those kind of things, but not quite so good at economics. In fact, I failed many economics papers, so I wasn't very good at telling sort of theoretical stories, if you like. So I always thought of myself as somebody who would be better suited to a finance career, whether it was banking or accounting or auditing, something like that. So I think for everyone on the call that's kind of thinking about a career in the future, I think the first thing that I would always say to people is have a little look in the mirror and think about what kind of person you are. If you're a very sporty person, then a career in sports management or as an athlete or something. But as somebody such as myself who was more numbers orientated, a career in banking was the thing that I chose, and it turned out fairly well, shall I say. So let's just look at the start of the slide, the bottom left-hand corner. I was very lucky to be sponsored for my degree by NatWest Bank. NatWest became part of Royal Bank of Scotland, has now taken the name NatWest back again, as many of you may know from the high street. So I was sponsored by NatWest. I worked part-time and I studied part-time. And part of the contract was that I had to work for the company for 2 years and 10 months. Why it was that long, I'm really not sure, but that was the contract. So I did that. I studied, I got my degree, and I earned a little bit of money along the way. The salary wasn't great, as you might imagine, because I only worked 2.5 days a week, and it was quite a long time ago. But I did that. But I soon realized that NatWest was a huge British organization, and it was going to take a very long time for me to progress. It was more a question of you would be at this level at this age rather than being a meritocracy, which I didn't think was going to suit me very well. So after the 2 years and 10 months, I moved to an American bank, Marine Midland Bank, was later bought by HSBC, but at that time it was an independent US bank. I joined, to be honest, as just a member of the clerical team. But within 12 months, I was selected to join their graduate program. So I came from inside, and 3 graduates came directly from university, and we embarked on a 12-month program. At the end of that program, we were guaranteed a front office position. What I'd been doing previously was a back office position. So we were guaranteed front office position. I trained in New York City and Buffalo, New York, which was the headquarters of the bank. And of course a lot in London, both internal and external. So I became, a graduate in a different sense as well. So I did that. I worked for the bank for a total of 6 years, became a marketing officer covering UK companies. And then an opportunity arose with Credit E&A, large French bank. I moved fairly sideways, to be honest with you. Marine Midland was going to be taken on by HSBC and sort of disappear in the UK. So I moved to Credit E&A. I did a similar sort of job there for about 3.5 years. And then a step change for me came with my move to what was Fuji Bank at that time. Later became Mizuho. 3 banks merged into Mizuho about 20 years ago. So I moved across to Japanese banking. A lot of people have said to me, Japanese banks, you've got to sing the company anthem in the morning and you're going to have to work till midnight every day, which of course couldn't be further from the truth. So I went to Mizuho as a more senior position. I was promoted through the ranks a little bit. I was there for 10 years. And then I had a little bit of a gap, which is not mentioned on the CV, in between Mizuho and SMBC, but then found an opportunity at SMBC. Mizuho, as I mentioned, became a merger of 3 banks. There were 3 people vying for my job, and I didn't really want to take that risk. So I did something else for a year with an Austrian bank, and then I moved to SMBC. And I was at SMBC for 17 years. So a total of 27 years of my career was spent with Japanese banks. And it turned out very nicely. I set up my own department in SMBC, focusing on oil field financing. Was again luckily promoted, built my team, recruited reservoir engineers, which were non-bankers, into my team, and so on. And in 2014, I was given the opportunity to move to Singapore to head up the bank's non-Japanese business for Asia. So I worked in Singapore for 4 years, from 14 to 18, building that business, traveling around all Asian countries, China, Vietnam, etc. Came back to London and then decided that that was enough banking for me. And it was a very long, a very happy road, I have to admit. And then I started working for Shaw Trust, which some of you may have heard of. It's a charity set up by the DWP in the UK, helping people find work, disadvantaged people mainly, to help them find work in the UK. So I did that for around 3 years. At the beginning of this year, I had the opportunity of joining Graduate Mentor, which I'm delighted with. I've been helping a lot of people, had some good successes already. And this is, job coaching, helping people write CVs, and so on. And I've got a couple of mentees who I just having monthly calls with, just to give career advice. How to play politics, how to get on well with my boss, how to get promoted, whether I should move job or stay with this current employer, and so on. So it's going very well indeed with Graduate Mentor. I'll take questions just in a second, but if anybody, having heard my story, wants to contact me after the call today, please contact Graduate Mentor. You can find me on the website. You can click on my name and ask for an appointment, or just contact me through the team at Graduate Mentor, and I'll be happy to talk to you and see if I can help.
That's great.
So that's my very brief but very long story. Any questions from the participants?
No, I think, Steve, I think that was really good. I think one thing I really like what you said is taking a hard look at yourself, starting out, of what you want to do. And I guess the question I'd have for you is, could you imagine all that you've done when you first started? What would be the advice you'd give to everyone on the call today?
Well, you never can, of course. In any career, you can never foresee the future. All I did in all of the job changes and my selection of NatWest at the beginning was to act on my instincts. Yes, I worked hard, but everybody works hard, don't they? It was more a question of doing what seemed right at the time. I didn't have a graduate mentor sitting behind me to guide me at all. I have to admit, in those days, the graduate mentor itself didn't exist, so there weren't really too many people to ask. So why did I go to Marine Midland? Well, I wanted to work, for a foreign bank. I didn't think a British bank was going to suit me because too big, it's the headquarters, too many peers, competitors, and so on. So I wanted to work for a smaller organization. Marine Midland came with a great offer, and I was lucky to join the graduate scheme there. The big step for me was to go to Japanese banks, which not everybody really wanted to do. 30 years ago or 20 something years ago, they weren't that popular. So that was really a risk. But you know, in any career, you cannot see it as a future. All you can do is kind of keep monitoring your situation. Am I happy? Am I in the best possible place? Can I do better elsewhere? Is it better to stay for a while? And then just keep reassessing the situation.
That's great. Thank you, Steve. We have time for just one question if there is any questions. And if not, you know, like Steve said, please find his information on the website. Does anyone have any questions for Steve before we move on? I'm going to take silence as a no, Steve. Steve, thank you so much. That was really useful. And I think it's really going to set us up for success as we start the workshop today and start to think about the future. So thank you so much.
I see someone has a hand up.
Oh, I can't see. I'm blind here. So please, if someone has their hand up, please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, please. Alan? Nope. I guess, no, we don't have it. Does speak up? No? Hello? All right, we're going to jump into it then. Thank you, Steve. Thanks again.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, great, guys. Well, let's jump into the workshop. So let's start to think about who you will become. So today we're going to start to use visualization to imagine who you will become in the future. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. So I hope you leave the workshop today excited about the future and what's to come. We're going to start with some really basic questions like you see here. Some of you may have the answers to these, which is great. And some of you may not, which is okay as well. So don't panic, as we're going to help walk you through this today and guide you to help start to picture what that desired future you want to have in your life. So the first step today is the belief that you can achieve anything that you want in your life. So I like to use a really easy example here, okay? If I could take you back to when you first wanted to get into university and you started to apply to universities. And let's say you wanted to get into a university, but you didn't think you were smart enough to get into the university of your dreams, your dream school. And your constant daily thought for your entire year 13 is, I won't get into the university of my dreams. Let's say it's Oxford. Everyone knows Oxford. And your constant daily thought is, I won't get into Oxford. My marks are not good enough. You think this thought daily for your entire year 13. Guess what? You apply to the University of Oxford and you do not get accepted. Now, let's change this scenario around. You want to get into the University of Oxford and you think you can. Each day you say to yourself, I'm going to go to Oxford, and you picture yourself smiling with that acceptance letter in hand. You join study groups to improve your marks. You stay late after school to work with your teachers, and you get extra support. When someone asks where you want to go to university, you smile and you put in the extra work and you surround yourself with other academic students. You apply to Oxford, and guess what? You get accepted. So as the famous Picasso once said, he who thinks he can and he can't, he can who thinks he can and he can't who thinks he can't. This is an inexorable, indisputable law. I love this saying, and I really believe in it. So starting today, let's believe that we can achieve anything that we want in our life. So what are we actually going to do and how does it work? So today we're going to build a storyboard. What actually is a storyboard? So a storyboard is what we use when we develop an idea in a design or a media. A storyboard is used as an integral part of the pre-production process. It allows designers and producers to clearly work through a flow or a journey, an experience for the users to embark on. Now, the value of the storyboard, like any prototyping process, it allows the designers to see any potential pitfalls, and also, the route that they want to get there. So, it allows us to identify the pitfalls, the speed bumps or challenges that we may find on the way, and also the end point of where we want to go. So in this context, we are looking as a storyboard as a way of visualizing our future. You might also, a storyboard could be called a vision board. It could be called a mood board, probably things you've heard before, a future board, I think also. But basically what it is, it's a pictorial representation of the different elements of the life you want for yourself in the future. But why pictures? So let's look here on the right. So let's look at the photo and call out. Why don't we text in the text? What does this photo make you feel? What is happening in the photo? Anyone? What has already happened? Thoughts? Feel free to either scream it out or I'll get out of this and see. Is anyone saying anything in the chat? What does that picture make you feel? Let me go back.
Celebration.
Celebration. Thank you. Celebration. Maybe happiness. It looks like she went to a achievement. Yes. Maybe she went to a paint festival. Fun. Exactly. Successful. She's laughing, right? So as you can see here in this representation, let me go back into the main thing. One photo can evoke many emotions, right? Thoughts, feeling. One photo can be very complex in what you actually feel. As such, a pictorial storyboard allows us to create a complex and emotive resource for us to check in while also being really easy to compile. So that's what we're going to start to put together today. Now, how does this actually work? Okay, so now we know what a storyboard is. We know why we use the pictures, but why does it actually work? So the purpose is to visualize a picture of what you want in your life, okay? And the first thing you're going to do is use your imagination and your thoughts. And once you have that picture, we can now work towards the outcome. So thoughts create emotions, emotions create actions, and actions create outcomes. Now, you have thoughts about your future. We all do. By putting emotions behind that, you're slowly going to start to take little actions. Now, whether that's continuing to study for a different degree, whether it's to network in a new industry, it might not happen immediately, but these small little actions and steps will help you get to your ultimate goal. Remember, on the picture board, you see the end goal, right? If there's one thing you leave this session today, I hope you realize that thoughts are powerful. Thoughts are one of the most important attributes of your success as you start your career or even throughout your career. How you think and how you feel, your emotion, directly correlates to an outcome of a situation. So today we're going to put together your storyboards. So when you find pictures that correlate to the future that you desire, you're going to copy and paste them onto your storyboard and start to imagine having those things. What are you going to feel when you paste those photos onto your storyboard? Hopefully excited, a little nervous about the future, but really excited, feeling good, maybe a few butterflies, hopefully all those things. So let's get started. So today we're going to review 3 compartments of your future, of your life. And they are your life purpose, the health that you want to have, and then your employment. We purposely put employment at the end because, I don't want to just look at your work life. I think you need to look at your whole life, because if your work life's great, but your personal life's not so good, that's not great, right? Your work life's going to feel that. So we really want to look at a holistic approach of your whole life and start to uncover what you want and start to bring that into your life today. We're going to have prompted questions to help guide you. And we just, I ask that we be really interactive. There's only a few of us here. So it'd be great if people feel comfortable after each compartment to share. But we can see that when we get there. So what you're going to do, let's get started. I'm going to ask you on a different window to pull up www.canva.com. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the search bar and you're going to type in vision board. Which is on the right-hand side of the page, and then it's going to populate some free vision boards. You should not need to sign in to Canva. You can if you want to, but it's a free site where you can use the template. You're going to click on one storyboard that you like, and then when you're ready, if you could just say ready in the chat, and then we'll kick off with our first compartment of your future life. I'm going to show real quick. I just had this up because I thought it would be nice. So this is Canva. I'm not signed in, as you can see. If you just type in vision board here, it will populate a whole bunch of vision boards. I'm not going to sign in. Like I said, you can if you want to. I'm going to choose a free one. What I like to do is I like to delete all the photos so that I can pull them up and start to make my own and make it kind of clean. And then I will also, in another tab, open a new tab and have Google images ready to go, so that I could start to populate whatever I need in Google. And when you're ready, can I use the app? Yes. On your phone or on your laptop? Timothy? Oh, okay. On my phone. You can. I think it's going to be hard for you to do. If you could use your laptop, I think it would be easier. Just because you're going to need to go to Google. I mean, you could try it and see how you get on. But I would recommend doing it on a laptop if you can. Ready? Great. Okay. Okay. Cool. So let's get started. I think most people are ready. Anyone having issues? Okay. Ping us in the chat if there's any issues, and Karima, let me know if there are, because I can't see. I'm blind when I put the slides on.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Great. Thank you. Okay, let's jump in. So, like I said, what we're going to do is we have one window for the canva.com. The other is just www.google.com, where you're going to start to type in words which correspond to your vision, your future vision. So type in a word that's going to help you find the image that you want to find. And then what you're going to do is you're going to copy that image and paste it onto your Canva board to start to create your storyboard. So any questions? What we're going to do is we're going to have 10 minutes, I think, yeah, just about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes for each section. It would be great if people feel like sharing at the end of what they've maybe put on their board. They could either share it with us, or just talk through it if you feel comfortable. And we'll go from there. So we're going to have 10 minutes, and I'll start to walk you through the first compartment. Does that sound good? Is there any questions? Karima, let me know if there are.
I will. Yep. None so far, though. Thank you.
Great. Let's jump into it. So the first section is around purpose. So you're going to have 10 minutes to start to think about what is your life purpose? What speaks to your heart? How can you be of use to the world? What will your words, your actions be? How will you inspire, empower, enable people? What will you stand for in your life? How will you change the world? What do you want your legacy to be? So let's start to look at this, and I'll come back to the slide to leave it up for us. So I'm going to show you an example to start to get to those brainwaves moving around what this could be for you. Everyone has a purpose. It can be something that you live for, that gives you pride, and a sense of accomplishment. So let's try to uncover what that is for you today. So I'm going to start with a little example. So this is an example of what a purpose could mean for you. So maybe you are passionate about saving the planet, and your goal is to help plant more trees in this world. So as you can see here, this person went and put planting more trees. You might want to join a lobbying group and raise money for the environment, along with protest at major events and help bring awareness to climate change to young students. So you go to classrooms, you teach young students, you start a fundraising page, and then when there's protests here in London, you join around, sustainability and making sure that it's more sustainable where we live here today. So that could be one example of what a purpose would mean to you. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go back here. So again, purpose can be absolutely anything. It's all going to be very different for all of us. Some people it's around, supporting their family. Some people it's around being a feminist, and it could be absolutely anything. What speaks to your heart right now? Let's start to uncover that. Great. Let's start. Let's give you guys 10 minutes, starting now, 8 to 10 minutes. I will leave this up. I'm just seeing if there's any questions. No? Cool. I will leave this up, and we'll have a little music playing in the background, but please ping the chat if you have any questions. So again, you're going to be using Canva on one window and just pasting onto your vision board your life purpose. Cool. Karima, I can't hear the music. Is it playing?
No, I can't hear anything either. you might have to share audio to make it when you share.
Karima, you're on mute too.
I can hear it now. I can hear it now.
All right, I'm gonna go back to sharing. Can you guys see my slides still?
No, we can see the YouTube of the music now, the chill music. So if you,
all right, I'm gonna leave this up. All right, well, we might be in silence.
yes, okay, fine. And it's working. I think it's working. The slide hasn't. No, actually, no, the slide hasn't come back. We've got the YouTube of the music,
All right,
but
Karima,
it's fine.
kill it. It's fine. Let's just
Okay.
get the slide.
Cool.
Cool. Can everyone see the slide?
Not yet. It's still showing you, Shirley, and it's still showing the video. Your video. It's not showing the slide yet.
Okay, let me do the slide. Great. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, the slide's back. Cool.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. Well,
Thanks.
everyone jump into it. So again, use google.com and please start to think about what your purpose is.
So is this, Shirley, is this multiple images for the purpose? It's not just one, is it?
It's not just one. It could be,
Multiple,
it
yeah.
could be 2, it could be 10, it could be whatever speaks to you. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys to be creative here. Well, everyone's thinking, I could give you an example. So I did this about 5 years ago. This is before I had a publisher, before I even thought about writing a book. I didn't even have a book idea, but I knew I wanted to help make a change with helping people move into the workforce. So I put down, I had a book on there. This is 5 years ago, again, before I had a publisher or anyone. I said that I wanted to write a book around this topic. And, you know, again, I took slow steps to get there. So I really believe in putting whatever it is, even it feels very unimaginable, and sometimes it does, but starting to put it down into an image for yourself. And starting to bring those thoughts, which will again create those emotions, which will turn into small actions to help you get there. So again, go big here. We'll give everyone about 5 more minutes. Two more minutes. Okay, let's slowly come back together. Is anyone brave enough to share what they've started to put down and the images maybe that they put down on their storyboard?
I don't mind sharing, Shirley, if you're looking for volunteer.
Great, please.
Right, so let me just bring my screen up.
Let me stop sharing. Go ahead.
Cool. It's not great, but it's
That's
it's
fine. It's a start, right? We're starting
Yeah,
to bring
start.
images. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Can everyone see that? Zoom in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Do you want me to talk through it, or just happy to
Please,
read
yeah,
it? Or
go for it.
so I kind of put the things that I thought were important to me. So things like giving back is really important, and this is not just mentoring, but it's just anything, any community support. So health and happy into old age. I'm not quite there yet, but I'll be there one day. Family. I've recently had my first grandchild. So children and grandchildren. My daughter gave birth about 7 months ago, so that's really important as well. Love traveling. And long term, I really want to go into a career where it's more about interim management, mentoring, supporting businesses. When I retire, I don't want to stop working. I want to carry on imparting advice. And if I can combine this with traveling, that would be my ideal kind of semi-retirement, where I would visit overseas companies, especially in Asia, which I love that region. Just give advice and support to companies, and I wouldn't even want to get paid for it. I just do it for free.
Great. I love it. That's fantastic. And I love all the different areas that you have, how you put it together. This is exactly kind of what, multiple photos here, which is great. Love it. I love the Paris one. Cool. Thank you. Anyone else feel comfortable sharing? That was great.
Yeah, sure, I can share mine. It's a little bit sparse, just
No
but
problem.
I have a few photos. Let me just share my screen. So I'm not sure if you can see that.
Yeah, we can see it.
But yeah, the idea behind it was I really appreciate and kind of go by kindness and supporting people, positivity, and just just being kind and nice to people. I think that's a really important thing in my life, and just making people feel good, laughter, joking a lot. So I think that's kind of my side and what's important to me at the moment. Yeah.
Love that. Supporting, and I love the words that you use there. Again, you could write words, right? I think that's really nice way to do it as well. Great, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Cool. Well, hopefully people continue. We got 2 more sections, so there'll be plenty more time to share if anyone else feels up to it. Cool. So let's jump in now into the second one, and we're gonna go a bit quicker. Now hopefully you got the hang of this. And it's not so scary, and your creative juices are starting to flow here. So that's the first section, purpose. We are now going to move on to our second section. So the second section is around health. So what does health mean to you? If you've been sick before or currently, what would health look like? If you were healthy now, how could you improve your physical and mental state in the future? So how do you aid your health? Do you do sport? Do you have a therapist? Do you have a diet? How do you feel mentally? How do you look and feel physically? How do your relationships support your health, right? So all these things are so important. If you need to make sure you have a healthy personal life and a healthy career, right? They all go hand in hand. So I think it's really good to start to uncover what health might look like for you as you start to take on a job or even move higher up into the workforce and more stresses come at you. So let's take an example of what this could potentially look like for you in health. So this is an example of what your future health means to you. So you have a goal to run a marathon by the time you are 25. You will be a part of a running club and be the team captain. So as you see here on the left-hand side, you see some runners. You also want to work on your stress management and start to learn how to meditate. You sign up for Headspace, which is a free app and free meditation app. Plus, you also want to take a drawing class, which has always been something that helps you relax. And lastly, you want to eat healthier and spend more time eating the right nutrients for your body type. So you're going to learn how to cook healthy meals through a health cookbook that you read about online. So this is an example of what health could mean to you. So I'm going to go back to this section. Similar thing. I'm going to give everyone about maybe just 8 minutes now because we got one more section to get through. So why don't you jump into it? Is there any questions around health? No? Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Cool. Jump into it. So why don't we now look at your health, please? I'll leave these questions up here for you to have a look. Give you another 2 to 3 minutes. Again, think big here. Think of something that you've always wanted to do. Why not achieve it, right? In regards to your health. Maybe it is a marathon, maybe it's joining a boxing club. I mean, it could be absolutely anything. Is that a question? No? How are people getting on? Is anyone done yet?
Almost there.
Almost
Not
there.
sure about
Good.
anyone else? Yeah. Oh, looks like Latif is done.
Latif is done. Latif, you're fast. Okay, let's slowly maybe come back together. Start to paste the last photos or images that you have on there. And let's see if we have any brave souls that are willing to share that maybe haven't shared yet.
I don't mind taking a go this time.
Yeah, please.
If I can get our thing to share
That'd be
on the
great.
screen.
Let me stop sharing. Hold on. Go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Give us 1 second. I think it's just loading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, at the moment, yeah, I suppose a bit background, 55 years of age. I top corner. Used to spend a lot of time on the treadmill, which unfortunately I'm not sort of getting the opportunity to do at the moment. So I want to get back onto that. I want to get a little bit more into the vegan diet. I'm not going to go vegan, but just to incorporate some more in that. And I suppose some of my issues there, this bit in the middle in terms of the aging process, and it's because I'm at that stage in life where my mother has entered into dementia and that sort of side. So that makes me, now consider these things around that in terms of vegan lifestyle, the treadmill, weight control, being active, is try to ward off that potential threat of dementia, wanting to prolong life in that side. And then it's for down here that I don't have at the moment. Yeah, I look forward to future time when I'll have grandchildren, and I always want to. I'm always sort of constructing things in and around the home, garden and stuff like that. So I want to be able to carry on that as long as possible.
Love it. That's fantastic. I love the vegan thing. Yes, very on trend, Darren. Great, cool, thank you. Anyone else? We have time for one more, then we'll jump into the last section.
I can share.
Please.
See if I can do this though. That one. Yeah, cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So I just thought for me, very much health is a lot of mental health. So I picked things that make me happy. Obviously, healthy food, but I think junk food kind of goes hand in hand with that as well. I swim a lot and I like to run. So I think like a marathon or something would be a goal. And just to do more social things, like for example, going out for me is more about dancing than drinking and stuff like that. Things that make me happy.
Great. I see the meditating one. Are you planning? Do you meditate?
I try to put aside a few minutes every day just to kind of center myself and go through the day. I'm not very good at it, but it's very much a goal of mine to do so.
Very cool. Cool. Love that. Awesome. Very nice. Great. Well, thank you for sharing. All right, guys. Well, I think we're getting it now. And I think the examples we've had so many great ones. So very cool. Let's jump into the last section and then we'll be able to look at all of it together. So we've gone through health. We've gone through purpose now. We've gone through your health. Let's get to the last section around employment. So what do you want to become in the future? What would employment look like for you? So let's try to start to use images that'll match the picture inside your head. So what is your future role? Do you work inside in an office? Are you outside in a field? Would you be presenting to the room, or would you be sitting at the table listening to the presenters? Do you create things? Are you innovative? Are you developing new ideas? Do you need a specialist knowledge? So, for example, do you need to go back to school? What are the outputs of your work? What do you need to do to get the role of your dreams? What are those small steps, the thoughts, the emotions, and the small actions that need to happen in order for you to get there? So let's take an example. So this is an example of what a future employment means to you. You want to be a teacher and specialize teaching science to young children. You use Teach Away, which helps find teaching jobs for individuals around the globe, as someday you wish to teach in France and learn French. You go to school to get your diploma that you can see there on the right side. in teaching, and you plan to save $50K for a house deposit. So you write yourself a check that one day you hope to receive. So again, you have a teacher here, you have the teach away, the big group in the middle, you have the French flag representing France, the country you hope to live in one day and the language you hope to learn. You have the small children that you're teaching science to, and then you also have that check that you hope to receive one day and that diploma that you could see yourself imagining you holding as you get your teaching degree. So that is one example of what employment could mean to you. So I'm going to go back to the questions here to help you think as you start to uncover the images that you want in your life. Any questions? No? Cool. Cool. We'll jump into it. Again, think big here. What is it that you really want to do? And where do you want to see yourself? You know, think about Steve, who we heard from at the beginning. You know, he didn't really know exactly where his career was going to go. We know where he wanted to be, but let's start to imagine if he sat back, you know, and made this future for himself and in visualizing it early on. Maybe he could have got those things much earlier. So let's start to think about that. Great. We'll give everyone about 5 more minutes. Again, think big here. It might be hard for you to imagine having a team or living abroad or whatever it is you want to do, but let's really try and put down what we really want, that dream of ours, and start to make it happen. I'm going to say 2-minute warning. I didn't realize we're running out of time here. So 2 more minutes and we'll come back together. One more minute. Start getting those last images onto your board. Is there anyone that's finished? You can put done. Everyone's still working hard on this one?
Well, I'm all done.
You're done? Okay, cool. Let's jump back into it because we only have a few more minutes now. Great. Is there anyone that would want to share their vision for their future around employment? We have time for one person to share if anyone's brave enough. Gotta have one person. Come on.
If there's no volunteers, I don't mind, but I've already been one, so I'd
Yeah,
rather
I
somebody
don't-
else
I don't mind
Yeah,
either if
but
anyone else isn't, but
give a last shout out, and then one of us can go.
All right. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Anyone else that wants to share? No brave souls. All right, go ahead.
Karima, do you want to go?
yeah, all right.
Okay, cool.
All right, I can do it quickly here. It's so I've kind of delved into learning as well as much as I can. Sometimes you get a little bit caught up in the job and you kind of forget to go the extra mile with teaching yourself a few things. So I'd really like to kind of start learning a little bit more as I'm going. I really love doing events as well. So I'd really love to get more into like an events type work too. And also just in general art. I mean, this isn't directly to my employment, but I'm quite like a artistic person when I apply myself, and I'd really like to kind of get myself back into that and immerse myself into creativity and art again, really. So yeah.
Love it. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Great, guys. Well, cool. So now we've gone through purpose, we've gone through health, we've looked at your employment. So this is an example of what your storyboard, could potentially look like. I saw that a couple of you had multiple pages. That's also fine as well. Some people keep it all on one page and make it small. Some people do multiple pages. But basically, you should have a layout of the 3 sections. And I guess the question I would ask is, how do you feel when you look at this storyboard? Are you excited? Do you smile going, wow, I can't wait till that happens, right? And that's really what we hope to evoke from these pictures, is the excitement of what your future is going to come, and when the reality of your future when it happens, right? So the ask today is that you've now started to do your storyboard. You're at the beginning. You've done the hardest part. You've created that desired future. Now we need to go make it happen. So please go and print your storyboard out. I really recommend, if you can, hang it on the wall of your office or hang it on the wall of your room, so it's the first thing you see every morning when you wake up. And you start to remind yourself of the little actions, the thought that creates that emotion, that creates that action, and you start to bring that into your life. And if I can leave you with anything, remember, nothing is impossible. The world itself says I'm possible. Anything that you want to do, you can achieve in your life. But the first thing you need to do is start to believe in yourself. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Shirley Morrison. I'm the author of a book. You just did the first chapter of my book, which is, how to create that vision for your future. And then if you want to take a look at my book, which is available on Amazon, it helps you look at, how to go and get the career of your dreams, how to jump into the workforce, and start planning your future. So please take a look if you're interested. And thank you so much. Karima, back over to you. Is there anything else we want to end on here?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Shirley. I think you've pretty much covered all bases there. I don't know if anyone has any further questions that they want to ask before you head off. You can put your hands up if you do. But other than that, really, thank you so much for sharing everything and teaching us how to create our own little storyboard. It's been really fun, to be honest, and it's a really good insight to everyone else as well and what they're after. And I want to thank Steve as well, the mentor who showed us his storyboard at the beginning too. So thank you, Steve. And yeah, everyone take care, I guess. And this will be up on our YouTube channel and up on our website as well. If you do want to watch back, I will send you the link as well too. Okay.
Excellent. Great. Thank you, Shirley. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
No worries. Thanks
Thank you.
all. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thanks,
See you. Bye.
Shirley.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.